So, what happens when nature reclaims what we nearly destroyed? Today, we're going to be exploring the exquisite beauty of a scarred landscape as we travel along the Martin Mines Trail. This one's tucked away in North Georgia in the Smithgall Woods, and it's quietly regrown over a century of scars left by the gold rush. So, what was once blasted rock and tailings is now home to ferns, hardwoods, and nice trails that wind past what used to be an old mine. So, stick around as we let the forest tell the story of Martin's Mine. Oh, and you get to watch me fall. Let's go. Welcome to the Martin Mines Trail at Smithgall Woods State Park. Smithgall Woods is also home to Duke's Creek, one of Georgia's most famous catch and release trout streams. You do need a reservation to fish, but the hiking is open year round.
All right, so we must be at the bottom of what the ranger at the office said was Heart Attack Hill. It is steep. It's no joke. It's nice knowing it's blocked off and the car's not going to come flying down. You've heard me say it in my other videos, just pace yourself, and it's really not that bad. All right, so hopefully I'm going to have to eat my words, but feels like we're at the top. It's like starting to flatten out. I mean, it's a steep hill, but Heart Attack Hill? I've done worse, that's for sure. There's definitely steeper and longer. It just wasn't that long. I mean, it was steep, but it wasn't that long. So, we'll call it Mild Discomfort Hill. Caution, bees. It's a little chilly. I don't think we're going to see any bees. It's probably like high 40s, low 50s. If only there was a way to like check the thermometer. Oh, that's a Carolina wren. I'd know that sound anywhere. All the bees are asleep right now.
The 2.1 mile walk from the visitor center to the trailhead is really beautiful. Even though it's on a paved road and a gravel road, there's a really cute covered bridge, and you're walking along Duke's Creek nearly the entire time. The Martin's Mine Trail itself is only 0.9 miles with about 130 feet of elevation gain, and it's an easy walk through a hardwood forest.
Now there's a ton of like officially marked trails out here. And there's also a ton of just really cool side quests. I happen to see this sign. Remember, all aquatic life depends on you. So preserve streamside trees, practice water conservation, recycle when possible. Whoa. Look at this.
And when I say look at this, of course, I mean let's stick a camera underwater and we're going to actually see some trout. So get ready. We're going to see some trout swimming in Duke's Creek. Here we go. One thing I love about this shot is just how clear the water is, yet you can still see a lot of debris and sand just flying past in the creek. And if you look very closely, you're going to see some trout over there in the back. You can see them really good right here. Super cool. Usually the walk to the trailhead is down a Forest Service road and doesn't include a beautiful covered bridge.
And just like that, pavement ends. I mean, this is really still paved in my opinion. Like this, to me, I would consider this a royalist paved trail. So this is fancy. But we should have like half a mile to go. Let me check my watch. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, so after checking the Garmin, we have about 0.4 miles to go.
Walking along Duke's Creek never gets old. It is absolutely beautiful.
All right, just before you get to the mine trailhead, you are 2.1 miles from the visitor center. There's a nice named pavilion, the Hemlock Shelter. And right here, just past the Hemlock Shelter, 2.1 miles from the visitor center, is the Martin Mine Trail. So here we go.
John Martin was born in Dundee, Scotland, and trained as an engineer and worked for the Dundee Courier before venturing into the electric light business. And his pursuits eventually led him all the way across the Atlantic into North Georgia looking for new opportunities. After several visits, he settled in the North Georgia mountains in 1889, drawn, of course, by the allure of gold. By 1896, Martin controlled one of the largest collective gold tracts in North Georgia at over 50,000 acres. With an operation this size, obviously Martin employed a substantial workforce and introduced a leasing system, allowing small parties to mine plots in exchange for a share of their findings. And this approach not only optimized his production, but it also fostered a community around the mining endeavors. And so, to support his operations and workers, he established a commissary store, assuring a steady supply chain and centralized commerce. Beyond mining, Martin contributed to the region's infrastructure. In 1876, he constructed a 4-story grist mill along the Chattahoochee River. I've been to this grist mill, and this mill was later renamed the Nora Mill in memory of Governor Hardman's sister and became a staple of local industry, and it continues to operate to this day. In fact, that's where I get my grits and my flour from, so shout out to Nora Mill Granary and all the delicious grains that you grind up there with your traditional stone ground mill. All right, so what you're looking at here actually used to be the mine entrance, right? There's a deep hole that's now filled in a bit that led down about 900 feet into the hillside. So we're going to get ready to kind of go over where the mining tunnels were. So right here at number 7, there was a shaft, and what we're going up now, we're basically going on top of where they were mining hundreds of feet underground. In fact, here's one of the mine shafts right now. Apologies, I couldn't get any deeper. Apparently only bats live down there now. If you've ever actually been inside any of the mine shafts, please leave a message in the comments and let us know what all was down there. What you're looking at here, this is not natural. This was actually cut out of the hillside so that gold-rich ore could then just be sent downhill to the stamp mill where it was processed. So what you're looking at, while it's beautiful, is a scar.
This is absolutely, when you turn around, this is wild. This is super wild. All right, let's keep going.
So as we come up on interpretive marker number 11, if you look behind the marker, you see a big old piece of quartz. And this is exactly what the miners were after. At this mine, the quartz vein was about 3 to 4 feet thick, so it was easy for the miners to follow and get that gold-rich ore that they were after. So this type of mining is particularly destructive because once they would extract the gold ore from the ground, they would then use what's called a stamp mill to crush it into a superfine powder. And then the gold would be extracted from that. And it's said that this stamp mill could be heard 20 miles away and sounded like a stampede of horses galloping across the land.
Trail does kind of a figure 8 after the stamp mill, so we're going to follow the numbers. It happens to also be left, but we're going to follow 13 to 14. Here comes the hydraulic mining and waterfall. Here we go. Honestly, that sounds more exciting than it should. You're like, hydraulic mining and waterfall, let's go. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, you can almost see my shadow, like trying not to fall. I'm basically standing on edge. Let's see what we can get up here. Let's go. All right. Whoa. Okay, here we go. Oh, whoa. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Don't go that way for some reason. You want to go this way. Although I feel like I see something over there that I want to look at, but...
So the Martin's Mine ceased mining operations in 1904, and then in 1905, John Martin and his family relocated to Clarksville, Georgia. So he remained in this area and was definitely a prominent member of the community. His residence in Clarksville later served as a hotel, and Martin played a pivotal role in modernizing Clarksville, and he definitely left a mark on North Georgia and its evolution. And that's really the entire subject of this video, because what we're looking at, while it is beautiful, it's a scarred landscape that has taken over 100 years to recover. So all of these plants, all of these trees that you see are 100 years old or less and have helped to take what was basically a scarred moon-like landscape. Just imagine this with no trees and no wildlife, and look at it now. So again, going back to the core point of this YouTube channel, the core idea of Tazumi Woods is in preserving and appreciating green space. And I think Martin's Mine is just a great example of how, even if mistakes are made, we can always continue to improve and save these beautiful places for future generations.
Just like that, you have completed the loop. You definitely want to do that extra, I believe it was 14, and go up to the waterfall. Definitely worth going all the way there. It's an out and back, but it makes this loop so worth it. It makes this whole hike so worth it. Tazumi Woods approves. Yeah, as we get to number 19, we'll call it Tazumi Woods approves of this hike. It's worth doing. It's interesting. That one part where you walk through the valley is really cool. So yeah, get out here and check it out.